When you're talking about ensemble casts, The Bear has to be part of the conversation, and with so many heavy hitters appearing in the show, it's no surprise that some familiar faces have popped in and out. Jeremy Allen White stars as Carmine Berzatto on The Bear, a young man grappling with the death of his older brother while he transforms his family's sandwich shop into a cutting-edge restaurant. Carmi has a lot of inner demons.
I'm a psycho. That's why I'm good at what I do. That's how I operate.
And his struggles to keep them down and live up to the inhuman expectations he has for himself often hurts his relationships with the people around him. White's performance in The Bear has won him a slew of accolades, including multiple Emmys, Golden Globes, Critics' Choice Awards, and SAG Awards. But before that, many viewers knew him as Lip Gallagher on Shameless, who he played from 2011 to 2021. He also appeared in the series Homecoming and starred as Carrie Von Erich in the heartbreaking 2023 biopic The Iron Claw. In 2025, White will also portray Bruce Springsteen in Deliver Me From Nowhere, a biopic about the musician's life. The trailer alone has already left fans wondering if he might just land his first Oscar for the role. Ebon Moss-Bachrach stars as Richie, a sporadic and tough-on-the-outside family friend of the Berzattos they lovingly and not so lovingly call cousin. Throughout the series, Richie's harsh exterior begins to melt away as he takes on front-of-house leadership at the Bear and co-parents his young daughter with his ex-wife, Tiff. Moss-Bachrach's turn as Richie has garnered many awards, including 2 Emmys. He's been working on screen since 1999, but many fans probably recognize him from some more recent TV projects. In 2008, he starred in the miniseries John Adams and went on to appear in Damages and The Last Ship before landing the role of Desi, a troubled musician, on HBO's Girls. He went on to star in The Punisher and appeared on Interrogation and the supernatural horror series Nosferatu. Moss-Bachrach has also done some great work in acclaimed miniseries like The Dropout and Andor, and one of his most recent film credits was from 2023's No Hard Feelings. He's also voiced characters on popular animated series such as Rick and Morty, Crapopolis, and Bob's Burgers.
I hope I can feed you all at my place sometime.
Ooh, what do you serve?
Burgers?
Ayo Edebiri plays Sydney on The Bear, a talented young chef with a good heart and a lot of admiration for Carmi. And while the chaotic environment of the Bear's kitchen often tests her relationship with her friends and business partners, she never shies away from standing up for herself and absolutely holds her own as a cook.
So it's all right?
It's better than perfect. Put it up.
In some ways, The Bear was Edebiri's breakout role, and it's already landed her nominations and awards aplenty. But before that, she played Stacy in the 2014 miniseries Defectives and went on to star in several short projects like It Was Sometimes Like This and the miniseries Ayo and Rachel Are Single. And just before The Bear came out, she had a recurring role as Hattie on Dickinson. In the film world, she's had pretty sizable roles in Cicada and How It Ends, and starred in popular comedies like Theater Camp and Bottoms. Edebiri has also lent her voice to various animated projects, including Clone High, Inside Out 2, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Lionel Boyce plays the Bear's kind-hearted pastry chef Marcus. Marcus is extremely dedicated to perfecting his dishes, and he has a particularly emotional arc throughout the series as he loses his mother and blossoms creatively after interning for another chef in Copenhagen. Boyce's performance earned him an Emmy nomination in 2024, and that same year, he and the cast of The Bear collectively won a SAG Award for Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series. Boyce is also known as L-Boy, a member of the now disbanded hip-hop group Odd Future, which also included Tyler, the Creator, Frank Ocean, and Earl Sweatshirt. Since branching out into acting in the 2010s, Boyce has appeared on series like Loiter Squad, Hey You, It's Me, Hap and Leonard, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like several of his co-stars from The Bear, Boyce has also gotten into voice acting in both the video game Grand Theft Auto 5 and the TV series The Jellies.
Go down, huh?
Abby Elliott plays Natalie Sugar Berzatto, possibly the most level-headed main character on The Bear. Not that that's saying much. Sugar is Carmi's sister, and she generally has her life together a bit more than the rest of her tribe. She's a kind-hearted, partial owner of the restaurant, and often tries to remind Carmi how much he means to her, and how proud she is of his success. The daughter of Schitt's Creek star Chris Elliott, Abby has kept comedy a family business, and was even on Saturday Night Live for a while. She was a cast member from 2008 to 2012, and was most known for impressions of celebrities like Zooey Deschanel, Drew Barrymore, and Meryl Streep.
I guess sometimes I make a movie, but I don't even know if I'm very good in them.
After her tenure on SNL, Elliott appeared in series like How I Met Your Mother and Odd Mom Out. She also starred in Indebted, guest starred on Search Party, and appeared in the latest remake of Cheaper by the Dozen. And as it's apparently required for a role on The Bear, Elliott has also lent her voice to animated projects like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Home, Adventures with Tip and O, and Crepopolis. Though he only appears in flashbacks, Jon Bernthal's performance as Mikey Bearzato is an essential piece of the puzzle that is The Bear.
You need to stir that. For Christ's sake, I hear it sticking.
All right.
Mikey is Carmy and Natalie's older brother, and his suicide rocked the Bearzato family to its core and then brought everyone together in a way. Mikey was the owner of the Bear's former iteration, the original Beef of Chicagoland. He was beloved by his family, his entire staff, and Richie in particular. And though he doesn't get much screen time, Bernthal's performance earned him an Emmy Award for Outstanding Guest Actor in a Comedy Series. Bernthal has had an impressive career before Bear, starring as Shane on The Walking Dead, and Frank Castle in both Daredevil and The Punisher. Bernthal has also had quite a bit of success on the big screen, thanks to his roles in The Wolf of Wall Street, Fury, The Accountant, Baby Driver, Shot Caller, and King Richard. More recently, he had recurring roles on the miniseries We Own This City and American Gigolo. Oliver Platt goes by many names on The Bear: Cicero, Unc, and Jimmy. He's a family friend of the Bearzato family and an investor in The Bear who often reminds Carmy and the staff how high the stakes are and how much they all stand to lose if the restaurant doesn't succeed. Platt has been nominated for multiple awards throughout his career, including an Emmy for his performance on The Bear. One of the more senior actors in the cast, Platt's filmography dates back to the 80s when he appeared on The Equalizer and Miami Vice. Throughout the 90s, Platt appeared in many notable films, including Flatliners, Postcards from the Edge, Beethoven, Indecent Proposal, Lake Placid, and The Three Musketeers. He returned to the small screen at the turn of the century, appearing in series like The West Wing, Huff, Nip Tuck, Bored to Death, The Big C, Fargo, and Modern Family. More recently, his career hasn't slowed down a bit. Aside from The Bear, he is a recurring face in the Chicago procedural drama universe. Molly Gordon plays Carmy's childhood friend and love interest, Claire. The audience meets Claire while she's completing her medical residency, and she and Carmy start a tumultuous romance as we learn more about their shared past. Apparently, Gordon's on-screen chemistry with White translated into the real world, and some 2024 reports confirmed that the pair were actually dating. Gordon has a few acting credits from her childhood, but she took a long break from the screen before coming back in 2015. Since then, she's had roles in Sin City Saints, Orange is the New Black, Animal Kingdom, and Rami. She's also won over fans in the film world, thanks to her performances in Booksmart, Theater Camp, Am I Okay?, There, and You People. Gillian Jacobs' character Tiff is one of the few people in The Bear that isn't part of the restaurant industry. Instead, she's Richie's ex-wife and the mother to their young daughter, Evie. Despite their separation, Tiff and Richie still clearly care about each other deeply, and Tiff is considered family by the entire Bearzato clan. The Bear is just the latest in a string of impressive credits Jacobs has earned over the years. She's been acting for over 2 decades, with some of her early roles including a stint on the series The Book of Daniel and movies like Blackbird, Choke, and Gardens of the Night. She also appeared in episodes of Fringe and Royal Pains before landing a starring role as Britta on the comedy series Community. Still, other fans might recognize Jacobs from her standout role on HBO's Girls, playing Adam's brief love interest, Mimi Rose Howard. Jacobs also appeared in films like Hot Tub Time Machine 2 and Life of the Party, as well as the series Love and Transatlantic. Additionally, she's kept up the trend of The Bear stars who voice act, voicing characters on Rick and Morty, The Vindicators, and 10-Year-Old Tom. Will Poulter doesn't get much screen time on The Bear, but every single one of his scenes is gold. He plays Luca, an expert chef who trains Marcus in Copenhagen and then joins the staff of The Bear to help his former student make pastries. The end of the show's 3rd season saw Luca and Sydney flirt a bit, but their relationship didn't go far beyond some cute banter in season 4.
I'm a stage in Chicago.
Wow, I
Chives.
chills down my spine.
Poulter kicked off his acting career with a starring role in the charming film Son of Rambo, then went on to have a stellar film career with roles in We Are the Millers, The Maze Runner, The Revenant, Detroit, and Midsommar. In 2021, Poulter appeared in 2 award-winning miniseries, The Underground Railroad and Dope Sick. Since then, he hasn't slowed down for a second. His career continues to thrive, and he recently appeared in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, his 2nd episode of Black Mirror, and a music video for Haim's single All Over Me. Much like Mikey, Joel McHale's character mainly appears in flashbacks on The Bear. McHale plays Carmy's former boss, Chef David, whose cruelty in the kitchen causes Carmy lasting psychological trauma. In one of his only non-flashback scenes, we see just how cold McHale can get when he brushes off Carmy's tearful confrontation.
I'm stunned right now.
Dude, you need to unclutch your pearls.
McHale's career dates back to the 90s, with appearances in the series Almost Alive and Bill Nye the Science Guy. He made the switch to film in the early 2000s, appearing in Spider-Man 2 and Lords of Dogtown, and went on to host the long-running clip show The Soup from 2004 until 2015. McHale had roles in various TV and film projects over the years, but most people will likely know him from his starring role as Jeff Winger in Community. But since Community, McHale has absolutely kept busy with roles in The Great Indoors, Short Adam, Stargirl, and Animal Control. More recently, he appeared on Yellow Jackets Season 3 as a sketchy wilderness guide who meets a grisly end. John Mulaney plays Stevie on The Bear, a Berzatto cousin by marriage who let Carmy crash on his couch while he was training in New York City. Stevie goes out of his way to attend Berzatto family functions, largely because he finds the Berzatto clan's antics hilarious. While he is not a main character, he has appeared in some of the series' most celebrated and intense episodes, including Season 2's Fishes.
What is the 7 fishes, or why do we do it? And I think I know what my definition is, as soon as I think of it.
In addition to acting, Mulaney is a stand-up comic and writer, and even had his own series, 2014's Mulaney. He has made numerous appearances on other comedy series like Kroll Show, Lady Dynamite, Comedy Bang Bang, Portlandia, and Documentary Now, and he regularly lends his voice to popular animated series like The Simpsons and Big Mouth. In 2008, Mulaney started working as a writer for Saturday Night Live, and even created the fan-favorite Weekend Update character Stefan. In addition to writing for the show, Mulaney has hosted it 6 times, most recently in November of 2024. Josh Hartnett doesn't show up very often on The Bear, but his character Frank is the catalyst for a lot of touching moments throughout the show. Frank is Tiff's wealthy fiancé, and he's such a nice guy that even Richie can't hate him despite the fact he's marrying his ex and causes him to worry that Evie might start to prefer him as a father figure. Hartnett began his acting career in the 90s as something of a heartthrob, starring in films like The Faculty and The Virgin Suicides, and the series Cracker, Mind Over Murder. Throughout the 2000s, Hartnett mostly appeared on the big screen in movies like Pearl Harbor, Black Hawk Down, 40 Days and 40 Nights, Wicker Park, and The Black Dahlia, but returned to TV in 2014 for Penny Dreadful. Although Hartnett's career never really slowed down, he's seemed to experience something of a resurgence in recent years, thanks to his roles in The Bear, Oppenheimer, and Trap.